This is the Pixel 4a, and this is the Samsung Galaxy S10e. One phone is a mid-range device from 2020, while the other is a flagship from 2019. Mid-range versus flagship? Are you serious? Well, yeah, you'll be surprised by the outcome for both devices. Now, when I think about it, these phones are very similar in a lot of ways. However, in today's episode, I want to address the question, which one is currently the better buy? The Google Pixel 4a or the Samsung Galaxy S10e? So, without further delay, let's dive right in. Design. The Pixel 4a looks very familiar, and that's because it strongly resembles the Pixel 4. While the Pixel 4 is made out of glass with a matte texture, the Pixel 4a is made out of plastic, which isn't premium, but it really does feel premium, like it feels great in the hand. I'm sure that the use of plastic is to keep the cost of the price down, which I really don't mind. One thing I came to love about this design are the buttons. They're just super tactile and the click is just so satisfying. While it might be a minor detail, it's one that again makes the phone feel so much more premium than it actually is, at least in my opinion. Now when we take a look at the Galaxy S10e, its build is definitely more premium. It's made out of glass all around. It's pretty much a glass sandwich. Notice how I didn't really talk more about design for both devices, and that's because they really do share a lot of similarities. Both devices include a headphone jack, which many people are really grateful for. They also have a physical fingerprint sensor, the Pixel 4a being on the back of the phone and the S10e implemented in the power button. Having a fingerprint sensor really does come in clutch, especially in 2020, since we're all wearing masks more often. Both phones also have a dual speaker setup. The displays on both devices measure in at 5.8 inches, capped at Full HD, and they both include a hole punch display, the Pixel 4a having its hole punch on the left side and the Galaxy S10e on the right side of the display. This new display design is a first for Google. I'm really digging this modern design for the Pixel 4a. Both phones are considered compact, especially in 2020 standards. I actually really like how they both fit in the hand. However, one of these phones win in overall design, and that is the more premium built Galaxy S10e. Software. So before I continue, I do apologize if you hear any background noise like cars driving or anything else. That's just really not in my control. I wish it was, but it wasn't. Anyway, so Google Pixel's 4a and Samsung's Galaxy S10e both run Android. Android 11 on the Pixel 4a and Android 10 on the Galaxy S10e at the time of this recording. Android 11 is slated to release on the S10e, but as I'm making this video, it hasn't been confirmed when it will release. When it does, I will definitely make a video on it and cover everything you need to know. Anyway, the Pixel 4a will receive software updates until August of 2023. Since it just received Android 11, we should expect to see Android 12 and 13 on the 4a. Android 14? I'm not too sure. Okay, I just went on a little bit, but in essence, the Pixel 4a will receive 3 years of software updates. Now surprisingly, the Galaxy S10e will also receive 3 major software updates. The first was Android 10, the second is Android 11, and Android 12 will be the final major update. It's good to know that companies are slowly beginning to realize that people are holding onto their phones much longer, which means they should continue to push software updates as well. Just because they're both running Android doesn't mean they're necessarily the same. With Google, they don't add anything to the Pixel 4a, like no bloatware or add-ons, just pure stock Android. Pixel devices are Google's way of showcasing what they envision their operating system to look like, and I gotta say, it gives the Pixel 4a a super clean look. On the other hand, Samsung adds their own customized skin on top of Android, One UI. From what it is, Samsung has really cleaned up the experience and has made it easier for people to use when we look back at Samsung's TouchWiz UI. It was terrible back at the time of the S3 and S4, pretty much up until the S8 actually. But now, I wouldn't mind using One UI. It's not as clean and minimal as the Pixel, but it's usable. That being said, I would still choose the Pixel 4a software experience over the Galaxy S10e. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, I'd really appreciate if you can give this video a thumbs up and turn on the bell notifications, as it does help out the YouTube algorithm and pushes my content to more people. Camera. Things start to differ when it comes to camera. If you know anything about Pixel cameras, it's that they are top quality. Google has nailed computational photography and the Pixel 4a is no different. The 4a comes equipped with one rear camera at 12 megapixels and the results are perfect. Whether it's daytime, night sight, or portrait photos, the Pixel 4a delivers. Oh, don't forget the front-facing camera. Coming in at 8 megapixels, the camera also supports night sight and portrait mode, which is just amazing. Now Samsung has also been doing pretty well with their camera work on their phones. The S10e comes with a dual rear setup, a 12 megapixel main lens, and a 16 megapixel ultra wide angle lens. As for the front, the S10e sports a 10 megapixel camera. You are getting essentially the same quality as the cameras found on the S10 and the S10 Plus, minus the telephoto lens, and honestly, Samsung made the right call there. The ultra-wide does become useful, so I am kind of upset that the Pixel 4a doesn't include an extra pair of lens, but it's not really a huge deal breaker. As for video, Samsung edges out Google. The stabilization just looks so much better on the S10e. Google has some room for improvement in the video department. I'm going to put up some photos and videos I took with both devices. Since I take more photos than videos on smartphones in general, I'm going to have to go with the Pixel 4a. Samsung tends to oversaturate their photos, which isn't bad, but for me, the Pixel 4a proves to take more quote-unquote real-life photos while it maintains good saturation as well. I also tend to prefer sharper photos, and the Pixel 4a also nails that.
Pixel 5a,
4A,
Galaxy A10. Pixel 5a,
4A.
Galaxy A10. Both have a
Battery. Whether you have the Pixel 4a or the Galaxy S10e, both phones will last throughout the entire day. I've been getting 5 to 6 hours of screen on time for the two phones. I'll end the night with around 15 to 25% again on both the 4a and the S10e. The 4a comes equipped with a 3140 mAh battery with the less power-hungry Snapdragon 730G. Without having a high refresh rate and high resolution, the Pixel 4a can actually compete with flagship devices. The S10e comes equipped with a 3000 mAh battery, which honestly doesn't make a difference. Like I said, I've never had any issues in terms of battery life when using them throughout the day. However, one thing that really does suck for both of them is standby time. I'll wake up in the morning and both devices will have lost about 5% of battery, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you compare it to something like the iPhone 11 or even the iPhone SE, well, both the Pixel 4a and Galaxy S10e have room for improvement. Now both phones have fast charge, the Pixel 4a capped at 18 watts and the S10e capped at 15 watts. However, the Galaxy S10e supports both wireless and reverse wireless charging, something the Pixel 4a does not have due to its plastic bag and probably to keep down cost. At first, I was alright with it, but I mean similar priced devices include wireless charging, like the iPhone SE that's similarly priced, so it's kind of a bummer. In my case of using these phones, I'm going to say this was a draw in terms of battery life. Price. The 128 gig Pixel 4a comes in at $349 with 6 gigs of RAM, one size and one configuration. That's it. If you ask me, 128 gigs is the sweet spot for most people, so I really have no worries about storage issues. As for the Galaxy S10e, I found mine on Amazon at the beginning of 2020 for about $350 as renewed unlocked. When I received the phone, it was literally like brand new. No scratches, no dings, nothing at all. However, prices do fluctuate, so as the recording of this video, you can find an Amazon renewed unlocked Galaxy S10e for about $400 to $415. I'll leave a link in the description down below. My model of the S10e also has 120 gigs of storage and 6 gigs of RAM. You can also add a micro SD card for extra storage if you want, whereas the Pixel 4a does not support expandable storage. Now when we compare it to flagships like the Note 20 Ultra or like those premium flagships, even like the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2 5G that costs like $2,000, $300, $400 is a super good deal, especially for a phone. Honestly though, I would go with the Pixel 4a just because I can also grab some extra accessories like a skin or a case, and it would still be less than the currently priced $415 Galaxy S10e. Still, for what you get in both, you can't go wrong. Verdict. After comparing the two phones, which one comes out on top? For me, it's hands down the Pixel 4a. Now for you, the viewer watching this video, it might be different, and that's okay. The Galaxy S10e is also an amazing device with its dual camera setup, AMOLED display, and its speed with the Snapdragon 855 chipset. However, I'm going to go with the Pixel 4a for its software experience and its camera. I was never interested in camera quality before, but after using a Pixel device, it made me realize how important the camera really does mean to me. Because of this, I've been using my smartphone camera more than ever. Anyway, I hope this video was able to help you decide which phone is better for you, or at least I hope it gave you some insight on both of these phones. I've personally been really interested in mid-range devices because they've been getting so good the past couple of years. Good phones are getting cheap, and cheap phones are getting good. It's these mid-range devices and one-year-old flagships that should really attract the consumer. Price, especially, is a huge factor for many of us. I feel as if flagship devices are struggling year after year to prove that they are worthy for their asking price tag of something like well over $1,000. The Pixel 4a, for example, probably takes better photos than most flagship devices even in 2020. Now don't get me wrong, I love flagship devices and I will try my best to continue to review and showcase them on the channel. And in fact, right now my current daily driver is considered a flagship. However, it's harder than ever for those flagship phones to justify if they're worthy or not. If you're out on the market looking for a new phone, take a look at either mid-range devices or one-year-old flagship phones. That's it for me. I'll see you in the next video.
Anyway, everybody, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to superman that like button, comment down below, because with the more interactions we get on this video, not only helps the video and the channel, but also pushes the video out to more viewers. And best of all, superman that subscribe button. Until next time, everybody, and until next video, this is MTG.